Good morning, everyone. Hi, it's Carrie Ann Finley, and I'm here on a cold, wintry morning. It's snowing here in Calgary, where I am. I have so many people asking me about what is a light worker, or am I a light worker? What does that phrase mean? I hear it a lot. Some people will message me and say, I know I'm a light worker. And so I thought I would clear it up today and just talk a little bit about it because a lot of people are asking me what that means or how do you know if you're a light worker? And I'll tell you a little bit about my story and how I found out what that was all about, and then I'll go into explaining a little bit more about it. So when I first was going through my spiritual awakening, this was in back in 2000, like 2021 years ago. Holy smokes. It was a while ago. I had never heard that word before. Now, usually when people will hear this is when they start to take some form of energy work training. And I took Reiki training. I wanted to learn how to do Reiki because I had taken a treatment and it had helped me so much. And I just felt a pull. I knew I wanted to help people, and I thought maybe this was the way I could do it. And that's kind of where I was at that stage. I didn't know too much about it other than that. So my Reiki teacher actually was explaining to me as I'm learning Reiki level 1 and then Reiki level 2 and then I took Reiki level 3 and then I knew I wanted to do Reiki master. So when I got to Reiki master, she said, it's pretty clear to me that you're a light worker. And that was the first time I actually had heard that. And for her to say, I knew it was an important word. For her to say that was really touched something deep within me. I knew it was really important. I didn't know exactly what it meant or what it was leading to. And so I asked her a lot of questions. And then over the years, I've learned so much more about a light worker and what it means because I became one. Or maybe my thoughts are is that the light workers are already light workers. They just don't have the lights turned on yet. And they start to wake up to themselves and to who they are and what they're here to do. And then everything kind of falls into place. So I remember her telling me, you're a light worker. And good morning, Tracy. Good to see you. We had a really long talk about what that meant. And she was explaining that when you have something deep in your heart that feels like that this pull, it's this drive that you have that you're here for a purpose, but you don't know what it is. That's a major lightworker sign. Because what happens is, before you were born, way up there, wherever we all came from, because we all came from different places, one originating source, but maybe other places of origin before we got here. So we volunteered to come to Earth to help heal it at this time. The Lightworkers volunteered. So can you imagine you sitting in this great big room or this great big space when everyone's asking if you'll volunteer to go down to Earth to help raise the vibration and heal the planet, and you put your hand up and you're so excited because it's like, yes, this is my thing. I know this is what I want to do. I'm a light worker. I can do this. And you're really aware of yourself on that level, right? So then we are born, we get here, forget everything, and you have to start over and claw your way back into remembering who you are and what you're here to do. And it's hard. Holy smokes, it's hard. You all know it's hard because you're all going through this process in different stages right now. And I've gone through the process. I mean, light workers have to go through it because it wakes you up to who you are and what you're here to do in your life purpose. That's why it's so important. So, one of the there's so many signs, but one of the signs of the light worker is just this pull. You really feel like you have a purpose. You might not be aware of what it is, but you really have this feeling in your heart. You're here for something important, something big to help others, and it drives you. It puts you on the search. You're constantly searching to find out what that is, or if you're aware of it, you're constantly searching to help others with your gifts. That's pretty cool. Another thing about lightworkers is they're extremely sensitive to energy. And especially, there's like a before and after. So before you learn energy work, you'll be sensitive to energy, you'll be aware intuitively, but on a much lower level. Once you take any form of energy work, like most people do take Reiki, I find, but it can be any form of energy work that you get into. Some people do pranic healing, some people do yoga, some people do meditation. Once you raise your vibration and move into that healing modality, what happens is that your sensitivities get so much more intense, because when your vibration raises, it's actually a good thing, right? But your intuitive senses open up a lot more. So you're reaching out and feeling a lot more of the world than you felt before. And so a lot of light workers have trouble handling that. So if you've ever, and I can put up my hand for this one, if you've ever gone out to the grocery store or you've gone to a concert, just a public place where there's lots of people and you just feel overwhelmed, you feel the energies of everybody, it feels like you're suffocating, or you might even be hearing the thoughts of people or feeling their pain. The person you're standing beside could be going through a really hard day and you're feeling all that. That's light worker. And you really want to help them, but you can't. Usually I have to remove myself from those situations. I don't go into those big type of group gatherings very much anymore. It's too overwhelming for me, or I have to shut everything down to be able to survive it. I can do a concert every once in a while. Grocery store, I'm still not good at the grocery store. I don't like going to the grocery store at all. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but yeah, definitely light workers are very sensitive. And the more focused you are on your purpose and what you're doing, the more sensitive you get, because you're really in the zone. You get connected spiritually and intuitively to all that stuff. So if this is happening to you, it's so normal. Um, other things that light workers go through is they have this feeling of being lost. And I still even get it from time to time. I don't know why. I feel like I miss home, or I miss where I came from, even though I don't know exactly where that is. Isn't that crazy? But a lot of light workers, or people who are standing in their power and living their purpose and sharing their gifts with the world, will say that there's this emptiness that is within them, that the only way they know how to fill it is by using their gifts to help others. So even though I miss, or I have this longing for home, whatever home is or means to you in your heart, you fill that by helping others and sharing your gifts. Interesting, right? A lot of these things, almost 99% of these things will be experienced by light workers. So it is a pattern. And I have set the intention for this group, this Facebook group, and I have a YouTube group as well. I'm on YouTube. You can click through the link to the YouTube channel at my website, spiritualawakeningacademy.com. Go to the right top corner and just click the YouTube icon. I post a lot of stuff on there too. So I'm connected with the Lightworkers. I find that we're a very small group of people all around the world, and I want to help those people that are going through the same things that I went through, and I know how to get through them. We're a very small group, right? I know I had posted something the other day in the group about light workers being spread apart because they're beacons all around the world, and as the light of each light worker comes on, as they become aware of their purpose and start helping people all around the world lights up like a grid, and it connects, which makes so much more sense, right? Why we're a little bit isolated, or you might feel like you don't fit in. 100% of light workers will tell me they don't fit in, and that they usually have not very many friends. And I laugh at this all the time, because people will be complaining about this, and I'm like, why is this a problem? Because from my point of view, I've never really had a lot of friends throughout my life. I've always had a few friends that are really close, that I know I can rely on or depend on, or that are going through similar things that I go through, so they get it, right? And that's hard too. So hi Rose, yeah, you're saying you found that if you focus on filling the emptiness with love, the yearning for home goes away. I agree 100%. 100%. So yeah, light workers don't have a whole lot of friends around them, but it's not a bad thing because you can really be led astray by different energies. So to stay really focused and on track for what you're here to do, it's kind of a necessary thing to be a loner or a lone wolf, or to really enjoy your alone time is a part of being a light worker. We need to be alone to fill our batteries with what we love to do. Like one of the things I love to do in the morning is just sit with a cup of coffee and get connected with the world, and like other things that you do alone, reading a book and going out for walks in nature, all these things that I do alone. Even though I love my friends and my family, I need this time to charge my batteries. Lightworkers will always talk about that. Crystals. Do you like crystals? Lightworkers always are attracted to nature. They're attracted to crystals, high vibrations, right? They're just attracted to high vibrations. They're attracted to spiritual type music. Often they'll do yoga, often meditation. You just get pulled in the direction that feeds your soul. And lightworkers are aware of that. They know when they're not happy, what's their life is like, and then when they're pulled in the direction of what feeds them and nourishes their soul, they know how that feels, and they tend to stay in those areas. Now, with one exception, I have been talking about spiritual awakenings earlier this week. So lightworkers do have to go through a spiritual awakening to go from the light being turned off and not knowing who they are and not remembering they're a lightworker, to having the light switched on and then knowing who they are and what they're here to do. And then the process between before and after is the spiritual awakening. So, there is a lot of darkness that light workers have to go through. It all sounds like so fancy and nice to be a light worker, but it is so hard. It is so difficult. So if you feel like you're going through this process and you're feeling lost, or you're feeling like you're going through a dark time, it's normal. The universe is trying to push you through that old energy of your old self and wake you up to your purpose and to who you are, what you're here to do, to get you to actually appreciate and use your gifts and talents to help others. So, so important, especially right now. We need all you guys here. Hi, Rochelle and Arlene. Good to see you. So good to see you guys. Oh my gosh, hi, Janine and Lise and Pina. Good to see you. Hi, Lindsay. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff being a light worker. You're always looking to improve yourself. So you're always feeling like you need to complete more of who you are so that you can be better to help others. So I find, hi Debbie, hi Kimberly. I find light workers often take a lot of courses. They go back to school a lot. Often they have more than one degree. They're trying to be specialists. They want to know as many things as possible to have tools in their toolkit to help others. The only thing is you have to be really careful. Light workers fall into this trap, and I can say this because I did. I fell into this trap about midway between my process of waking up, when I'm learning Reiki and I'm learning Feng Shui and I'm taking all these courses about spirituality and meditation, and I'm just soaking in all that information, which is what we do in the beginning of the process of waking up, is that you get addicted to learning. And so I was at the point where I had been taking classes for 5 years. Kind of embarrassed to say that, but at the same time, I'm so grateful because, and I took classes in, oh my gosh, awesome stuff, remote viewing, like amazing stuff that still helps me to this day help other people. So the reason why I bring it up is it's still great to be able to be in that phase of learning and take as many things or programs, classes, learn as much as you can, read as many books as you can to get yourself a good foundation, but know when to stop. And it doesn't mean you stop learning. I'm still learning all the time. I do take classes from time to time still. I learn a ton from my students all the time because I'm always researching ways to help them better. But you can get into a trap where it's like a little bit of a circle where you're stuck in or addicted to learning, taking the next class, but then not going beyond that. So my question to the light workers is going to be, when are you good enough? And it wasn't until somebody said this to me, when are you going to be good enough to help people? You don't need to take 100 classes to be good enough to help people. Sometimes you don't even need to take one. And this is my argument when I'm teaching people through the spiritual awakening and they're saying, I don't know who I am and I don't know what I'm here to do. I'm going to put up the argument that you do already, because we were all born with gifts and talents already. When you were little, what did you love to do? What was that thing that you totally could spend the rest of your life doing that you loved when you were a kid? It's one of your gifts, if not the most important gift that you have. And already, just from being alive and learning experiences and everything you have, you're a specialist in some way. So yeah, you can take some courses to build up that foundation based on what you know already, but you're already now in this moment good enough to help others. There's no question. It's just getting yourself strong enough to get there. So another part of being a light worker and getting to that point where you're aware of who you are and what you're here to do is the healing phase. Getting through the phase of whatever trauma or crisis that's holding you back from being the light worker, that thing that is stopping you from being who you are. And it's actually a good thing. This crisis or this trauma is pressing on you really hard and it's making you miserable for a very good reason. The universe is trying to help you remember to get you to wake up. So very similar pattern for every single light worker is they go through like a dark night of the soul through their spiritual awakening. You get pounded and pounded with obstacles, negative experiences, things that just make you miserable, because the universe wants you to stand in your power. So it keeps sending you all this baloney and all this stuff that just doesn't fit in, and it makes you miserable, and it's obstacles because the energy is trying to force you to say, no more. No more. I'm going to stand in my power. This is what's important to me, and now I'm going to go forward. And it takes a lot to get there. It took a lot for me to get there, and it's a process too. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens kind of in drips and drabs, little baby steps all the time as you go forward. Wow, right? It's like an amazing process. Lauren's asking, as a light worker, do you ever have electrical anomalies? Yes. When your vibration is high, you will affect anything around you electrical. It could be your computer, could be your phone, maybe the lights, maybe the dishwasher, washing machine, anything electrical. I myself can't wear watches because they break within 24 hours of me getting a watch. They stop working, and I have no idea why. It's been that way for a very long time. And this is cool. There's a before and after story with the watches. It's like, good morning, Normie. Hi, Lynn. Before I woke up, I wore watches all the time. I used to buy swatches because I just love them. And for years and years, I bought swatches and I'd get the latest one, and they always worked, no problem. Then I went through my spiritual awakening, and I've never been able to wear a watch since. So somehow my vibration raised to a level, or whatever's connecting there is just not letting them work anymore. Good question, Lauren, right? Yeah. Lauren's asking, have you learned to control it, or is it still triggered? Oh yeah, this is kind of something you can't control. That's a good question too. No, I can't control that part, because your energy raises. I want my energy to raise. I want your energy and your vibration to raise higher and higher all the time. I don't worry about it. It's affecting things that have lower vibrations. So this is pretty cool. As your vibration rises, what's going to happen is anything that's not holding the same vibration as you in your home will either break, or for some reason it's going to leave the house. So someone could come in and like, for example, I'm thinking someone like my son's moving out, and he took our couch, and I gave him our old couch. So it was like an older energy that was leaving the house as my vibration was raising, that kind of thing. But it's not really something you can control. The energy around you should be assimilating to your higher vibration. So you want to get your dishwasher fixed, or the washing machine fixed, or the doorbell, whatever's not working. Get it up to that higher vibration. Calibrate it to the higher. Holly saying lights flashing over your head. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, right? Guys, you're the light workers. It's so cool, right? And isn't it funny when you're with somebody and then something like that happens, like the lights flash or whatever, and they don't get it. And so they're going, "Oh my gosh, what's happening here?" And you're just giggling in the background because you know it's you. Ah. Oh gosh, Rose, that's hilarious. It's my magnetic personality. Yeah, it's probably the light worker's magnetic personality, right? Because you become like a magnet of positive energy. It's super cool. Debbie says she had the watch thing when she was young and put a bandage on the back of it. Ooh, that's a good idea. Oh yeah, okay. So Rose is saying you can control it, breathe and focus, and the electrical thing will start working. You can, yes. I was thinking the question was, can you control activating any energies with your um, with your vibrations? So activating the lights or whatever. You can't really control that, but yes, once it happens, you can shift it forward. It's pretty cool, hey. So yeah, I've got a list of things here that everyone goes through, and I've tried to explain as much as I can to help you a little bit, to help you understand it a little bit better. What else? Other things would be light workers feel like they're old souls. They really feel like they've been here before. You'll have a deep connection with certain places on the earth. Like for myself, I have this really deep connection with the mountains by my home in Banff and Lake Louise and in there. And oh my gosh, I haven't been there in so long, which really, um, it pulls me to get there. I need to get back there because that's my healing place. And so light workers will always have this healing place in nature that they'll have a drive to go to, because you've lived a life there before, right? Pretty cool. Also, you'll have old soul connections. I have several old soul connections with people, and I know Jessica, if you're watching, or if you see this later, you'll totally get this because my friend um, that I met, Jessica, at one of the programs that I took, we were like an old soul connection, and we just got along when we saw each other, and we get each other, and we're going through the same things, and we've been friends for a very long time. So you get a lot of those old soul connections, which the universe sends to you, right? And you as you raise your vibration, you attract each other, which is awesome too. Normie says, I'm also a light worker. I noticed my electronic devices and batteries draining. Yes, that will happen. Yeah. But as Rose pointed out, you can change this. This is a whole nother topic, but yeah, let's get into that because it's kind of fun. So as things are shifting, you can, focus on the solution, focus on the, let's say your dishwasher breaks, focus on the solution, so the dishwasher working, or the problem that's wrong with it being solved, and you do focus on your breath and send light to it, and it should shift right away. You can usually change it quite quickly. Kind of neat, hey? Lots of these tips and tricks that you pick up as you go through your process of being a light worker or waking up is cool too, because it's necessary for your learning so that you can know how to help others. So when you're going through your period of healing, and I think light workers are always going through healing for a long time. I think even now for me, when I can say my first spiritual awakening was 21 years ago, I'm still going through healing now, just in a different way. So it's always layers. It's like you're pulling off the heavy layers first, and then you go through some healing and learning and helping others, and then you get up to another level, and then you pull off more layers. So you're always refining yourself and getting better and more focused all the time. There's a really cool myth that I had heard of years ago when I took a class in Buddhism at the university. And they believe, or the Buddhists have this saying that each one of us has this golden heart, or think of yourself as this golden nugget, and each one of us is this golden nugget on the inside, and we just have all this dirt on the outside that needs to be polished off through all of our good deeds and all of our learning and remembering who we are. And as you polish those bits off through your life experience, more and more of the real you, the golden you, it comes out, And then when it's fully out, you become the light worker or the healer, which is pretty cool. Not as saying, do light workers attract negative people? I feel like I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are negative, that no matter what I say to help them, they are still stuck. Yes. You know what? It's a boundary issue. So one of the hardest things light workers have to learn is boundaries and saying no to people. So yes, we attract those types of people because lower energies are attracted to lighter energies. Just think of like a moth in the dark to the light is attracting to the light. So they crave what we have. So they're always going to be around you and then trying to create drama. So a really good book that I recommend to light workers to read all the time is Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. This is an old book from the late 90s. It's an awesome book. It teaches you all the foundations of energy and how to read it, and boundaries is one of the main issues of the book. So basically, when you're a lower vibration, you get caught in control dramas amongst people that are vying for your energy to feed on it themselves energetically, even though they might not realize it. But you've got to get to a place where you don't do that anymore and you say no, and actually those people will leave your life and you move on to a level where you don't participate in the drama anymore, and then they don't pull from your energy and you become more empowered because you're saying, no, I don't want to live life in all drama type situations. I want to be happy and I want to spread love and light, right? I don't want to be fighting or in drama. So read Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. He explains it in great detail. One of the best books ever. I read that book again every year ever since I bought it. I bought it in the 90s. So I've read it, I don't know, 25 times. Excellent book. Another book would be, I read this too when I was first waking up and my Reiki master told me I was a light worker. It's Doreen Virtue's book called The Lightworker's Way. Awesome book. It's very thick. This is an old book too from like the early 2000s. Still, you can buy these books on Amazon. She explains everything in great detail about what you're going through, the healing journey of being a light worker. So if you're just feeling or just hearing light worker, the word light worker for the first time today, there's no mistake, or there's no coincidence. It's really important to pay attention because something is waking up in you. If you've heard this lots of times before and you're looking for more information and you haven't read those books, they are awesome, awesome, awesome books. Must reads to get started. Also, I always recommend The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. If you've not read that book, it's a beautiful book about finding your life purpose. Beautiful, and it teaches you all about energy at the same time. So those are like the 3 foundation books to get started if you haven't connected with them yet. I know there's even online versions you can read of those as well. You don't have to buy them in person or buy the hard copy. So yeah, I talk for so long. It's like 30 minutes passed so fast. But I hope I helped you understand a little bit more about what the light worker is and what that means. And I know you are all light workers, otherwise you wouldn't be here right now, right? You're hearing this because it's important for you. You're meant to be here at this time to connect with this information. So anyone who's feeling lost, if you're really struggling right now and you're in that first phase of just waking up to being who you are, I have the Spiritual Awakening Program that starts February 7th. It's a month-long program, and I'll help you through it. I've been through it 3 times, major spiritual awakenings, and I've been helping people since 2007 with it. It's a process all light workers go through, and I'm happy to help you get through it so you can jumpstart yourself, level up, move on to the next level, and get onto your purpose quickly, because we need you guys. We need the light workers, you guys. Well, I need you to get into your purpose as soon as you can so you can help the world with your gifts, because you all have really important gifts to share. And this is the coolest part ever. Each person is a specialist in their own way, because the gifts that you have are specific and unique to only you. That's why we need you all connected and all lit up being on purpose, because what you have to give, nobody else has it. You are unique and we need you. So yeah, check out my website if you need help. I'm at spiritualawakeningacademy.com. Actually, if you sign up today, I still have the bonus offer on. So I'll throw in a free reading, a 30-minute reading, if you register for the Spiritual Awakening program by midnight tonight. And then registration closes on Saturday for that. And message me if you have questions. I'm always happy to help. Message me through Facebook, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Love and light. Have a super day. Take care.